Hi Travel Geekers, this will be my last update from Southeast Asia for at least the foreseeable future. I know that many of you have become accustomed to getting my updates from this region, but I'd like to reflect on some of the past successes as well as talk about some of the upcoming changes that will be taking place on the Travel Geek network. In the past 5 years, I've grown from a simple travel enthusiast to something of an entrepreneur in the cultural and international concerns with media coverage spanning more than 36 countries. My growing library of books from this and other regions of the world focus on anthropology, geology, and even the traditions of various different cultures throughout the world. My blog, which started out as just a journal to chronicle my bicycle trip across the states with just a handful of readers, has grown to a frequented location for travelers seeking experiential advice and which is constantly attracting marketers and advertising from all over the world. I produced more than 120,000 images, 85,000 of which are fully edited and released on a rotating gallery of photography from 40 countries. I started a podcast show in which I've interviewed radio hosts like Mark Vogler in San Francisco, web hosts like Chris Christensen of TripAdvisor, rights advocates like Adam Kokesh, the host of the History Channel's Hidden Cities, Anthony Morris, and a ton of other very influential people around the world. My videos have been aired on network television in the US like KVMD, Channel 31 Los Angeles, and others. My footage has been seen on the BBC in the United Kingdom and used in everything from hotel chains and government websites to charitable organizations and tourism bureaus. And I've even entered into an agreement to have my current 6 films, as well as my upcoming 7 other films, represented by a worldwide distribution company that will begin work on putting them into networks all over the globe like Canal Plus, Eurosport, Sony Entertainment Network, MTV, Fuel TV, ESPN, and many others. In addition to that, my films have also been listed on the Internet Movie Database, a place of esteemed recognition and a highly sought-after listing for any filmmaker in any market. 4 of my current films have been listed, and they've already approached me about listing the rest of them as well. On top of all this, I've launched my latest and greatest venture so far, the Travel Geek magazine, which includes all of the above and brings it all together in what has become a very popular travel and research resource for people all over the world. I've actually met people on the road who've said that they've heard of and visited my website to research their travels. It's amazing to hear those kinds of comments about my work. In fact, the entirety of the last decade has been an amazing and wild ride altogether. Each year of the last 5 years has been better than the one before. But because of what's just around the corner, it's actually just beginning. And that's why I'm making this update. In the spring of this year, 2014, I was told by a very prestigious university in the US that I was nominated for a full scholarship to attend classes free of charge and pursue a dual program MFA PhD. I did not solicit this nomination. It was offered to me outright by the university. But what's even better, I was offered a fellowship with this university in which I will be teaching in multimedia, things like photography, videography, documentary filmmaking, and journalistic integrity, media ethics, things like that. They're all on the table throughout the time that I'll be there. What's more, I'll also be taking my students all over the world to film and photograph and document their media in places where culture meets creativity and to share the insights that I've learned in the last decade of being a digital nomad. Okay, all that is truly amazing and I'm hugely humbled by all of that, but probably the most significant thing for me is that during the MFA portion of my degree, I'll be using the last 10 years of media creation and putting them to work in my magazine. I'm going to try to make a magazine that's completely unique, something that's never been seen before, something that combines global interests and experiential travel insights and a personal perspective that bonds it all together. Driving all of this content will be an entirely new way of consuming online content. It'll be more than just a magazine. It'll combine all my books, photos, films, podcasts, journals, blogs, and it'll drive them in a vehicle made up of a host of new apps, interactive platforms, vivid visuals, and prepped for technologies that don't even exist yet. It'll be a blogazine for the next generation of tech-hungry consumers, and I can't wait to get it started. So what does this all mean for the Travel Geek magazine, the Travel Geek blog, the Travel Geek podcast, the Travel Geek documentaries, and the Travel Geek channel? I'll be scaling back my releases of videos and blogs as expected during this busy time, but remember, I've just finished collecting footage for 7 brand new films from Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Brunei, and the autonomous states of North Borneo. So while my studies continue and I find myself in a collective of media enthusiasts, I'll also be editing on the world's most advanced software using studio quality components, and I'll be in an environment where I'll be sure to have the best advice on how to really make an impact with it all once it's released. So stick around. If the last few years haven't kept you on your toes, I hope that this next step will definitely be an impactful one. I hope that it will be something that makes the world a little smaller, a little more accessible, and a little more real to those of us hoping to learn a little more about our amazing neighbors.